All right, 1977 Jeep Cherokee Chief, 360 V8 auto quadra-track. Doing this for the first time. Need to change out the transmission mount, torque arm stud, torque arm bushing. They're pretty shot. I mean, this is basically non-existent. It's pretty flat. You can see the rubber maybe a little bit back there. So now I have to remove this e-brake cable. So this comes off here, okay. Let that hang. Now it looks like there's a retaining clip. Try to do this with one hand. Okay, and then we just feed this all the way through, and that'll clear up the cable. And I don't know if you see this, but look how ridiculous this is. This is what I need to redo. Look at this, on this exhaust Y pipe. Let me see if I can get this thing into focus. Look how low this thing freaking hangs. I gotta redo this. I had a muffler shop do this. I redid the entire muffler from the manifolds all the way back. So everything past the exhaust manifolds. And this Y pipe on the driver's side, this is just like a rock magnet. So I got to figure out something to do with that. Got the e-brake cable out. I just have it zip tied here out of the way. Next is remove this. This is the torque arm stud. You need to get a 17 on the stud to stop it from spinning, and then you can remove this guy. And then I don't know if you could see this, but this thing is just kind of loose up there. There's a nut that needs to come off up here, but I can do that after the cross member comes down. So now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen these two fasteners here. That's what's holding the transmission mount to the cross member. So I'm gonna loosen these up next. All right, so I got those two bolts out. And just to kind of show you, I mean, this isn't how it's installed, but I just wanted to show you the new transmission mount. The one that's in here now is a rubber mount, and oil got to it and it basically disintegrated. This is a polyurethane mount made by Prothane. And it's not completely solid, but it's much stronger than rubber, and it does have some give to it. See, it will bounce back. It's not 100% completely solid. A solid one would be made out of solid metal, aluminum, billet, or steel. So this was polyurethane. It should last a lot longer. But I just wanted to show you the Prothane mount. Part number 71604. Okay, I've got the lock washer and the nuts off of these bolts. There's 4 bolts on each side. I just have 2 left on 2 bottom bolts left on this side, on the driver's side, 2 bottom bolts left on the passenger side, right there. And then I've got the transmission pan supported. I distributed the weight across the transmission pan there. And then I've got a jack underneath the transfer case here. So now I'm gonna take the last remaining bolts out and then drop the cross member. All right, cross member's down. Okay, and it came down very, very easily. It was there was no load on it or anything like that. This is over probably 42, 43 years of grime. There's the mount right there. Man, that thing looks like it's a mess. Okay. Torque stud, torque arm bushing. We'll get that all out. But yeah, that's pretty, that's thick with 2 C's. All right, that's caked on. I can plant a tree in here where the old transmission mount used to be. Look at the height difference. Just so much cake is on here. That's incredible. I'm getting there. I feel like I'm just polishing a turd at this point. All right, I got the grime off this thing, and now I'm going to shoot it with some paint, let it dry, and then start working underneath the Jeep to finish up removing everything else. Okay, so I cleaned up the fasteners, that way I can unbolt this a little bit easier. Look at that, it's split. That mount is just gone. You see that big old split right there in the middle? Looks like a butt crack. Look at that, that thing is gone. Let's see how height difference here. Not too bad. But there's definitely play in this one here. And then it also puffed up a little bit after taking the transmission weight off of it. I feel like this also puffed up. It wasn't this fat before. But definitely pretty squishy. So I already broke all this loose. Okay, so that goes there. And then this slides out. That. This goes off like this. Here's the old one. This is the new stuff right there. All right, get this ready for primer and paint. Just getting everything mocked up, and then it's gonna go back in. I got the transmission mount on. I got the fasteners in there, but I left everything loose. I'm gonna put up the cross member and see if everything's gonna fit back together. All right, transmission mount is in. Torque arm bushings and torque arm stud is in. Cross member's back on. Everything's in. I just need to torque all the fasteners down, and that's it. And then take it for a spin. Okay, I'm gonna make this as quick as possible. Just kind of run through this real quick. And by the way, it's already been a couple of weeks since I've swapped out the transmission mount. So I've had a chance to drive and kind of get to know the new characteristics of the vehicle after the mount. So immediately after swapping those out and taking it for a test drive, what I noticed is at idle, I had some really harsh vibration. There was a lot of hard vibration at idle. While driving, it was fine, but eventually that all settled and that went away. I think what it was is that transmission mount was just a brand new, rock hard, solid, cold transmission mount that basically just needed to settle. And once it got settled, then it was perfectly fine. So that went away. The harsh idling went away. Initially, I wanted to swap out the transmission mount to resolve an issue that I was having with hard clunking or harshness going into reverse or drive. So when shifting into reverse or drive, I would hear a clunk. So that's gone away a little bit. It hasn't gone away fully because I also have some bad U-joints on these drive shafts that I'll be replacing next. But it actually has helped with that, so that's good. The biggest improvement though, the biggest difference that I noticed is in now the slack. So when I take off or when I launch, whereas I'm giving it some gas, I've noticed that a lot of the slack and a lot of the slop has has gone away. So a lot of the Jeep's energy is now being put into propelling the Jeep forward, versus this more of like this sloppy rubber band stretch and then shoot kind of effect. Now there's more of an immediate launch when I take off. There's like I said, there's just more energy going into propelling the Jeep now than there was before. So that's been a huge difference. But yeah, so those three things, I'm pretty happy. Look at this. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the changes. There's still a lot of things I need to address on this Jeep. I mean, it's, you know, over 42, 43 years old. There's, like I said, there's bad U-joints. I've got bad tie rod ends, possibly a bad gearbox that I need to swap out. A bunch of different seals, a bunch of different bushings. I need to grease a bunch of stuff. I mean, it makes noise. It's a really old Jeep. So, but yeah. But as you saw in the video, you know, that transmission mount, that thing was pretty shot. And but yeah, so I'm pretty glad. I'm happy with the polyurethane transmission mounts and torque arm bushings. So now I'll be moving on to the U-joints. But anyway, thanks for checking out this video. I hope it helped someone. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.